Holy Schnikes.
Holy Schnikes! Not a day goes by that we don't miss the late Chris Farley. And we couldn't count how many times we've quoted Tommy Boy with David Spade, Brian Dennehy,
How do we look?
Chubby?
Rob Lowe, Bo Derek, Dan Akroyd, and of course, Herbie Hancock. Here, we'll take a look at 10 things you never knew about Tommy Boy.
Get ready to live.
If you enjoyed this video, please like it and share it with your friends. Subscribe to MovieWeb to keep up with the conversation about all of the things we love. The working titles were awful. Imagine if Tommy Boy had been called Billy the Third, a Midwestern.
You guys want this or American Gladiators?
Thankfully, Saturday Night Live boss Lorne Michaels had Billy Madison happening around the same time, so that title was scrapped. Other near misses included Fat Chance and XL.
Yikes.
In a 2015 interview with Consequence of Sound, director Peter Siegel said the only scene to survive from the Billy the Third script was the part where Farley changes in the airplane bathroom. The director had worked with Farley on an HBO special and an episode of The Jackie Thomas Show, where Chris played Tom Arnold's brother. The real-life friendship. The chemistry between the two stars of Tommy Boy was real. As fellow Saturday Night Live cast member Mike Myers recounted in the I Am Chris Farley documentary, Chris Farley and David Spade were, quote, a fantastic combination of ultimately innocent and ultimately jaded. They are the oil and vinegar of comedy.
Here's you, here's Matt, there's you, there.
Tommy Boy is anchored by the duo's real-life friendship and dynamic. There wasn't much of a script when they started shooting. SNL writers Jim Downey, no relation to MovieWeb's Ryan J. Downey, though I am a huge fan, and Fred Wolf worked with the director, though the script was credited to Third Rock from the Sun and That 70s Show creators Bonnie and Terry Turner.
We got ourselves a writer here.
Writing continued every night during the frantic and sometimes chaotic production. Holy Schnikes! In the commentary track recorded for the DVD, the movie's director says Holy Schnikes was one of Farley's real-life sayings.
Holy Schnikes.
There was almost no improv in Tommy Boy, but there were several moments that came from real conversations the director overheard between his two stars.
I'm making up as I go!
Now classic moments like this one,
Holy Schnikes, it worked.
Farley's burning car sales pitch,
We're burning alive.
and the Carpenter sing-along, among others.
Don't you remember you told me you loved me, baby?
Those also came from the actors.
If it's not funny, I do it. If it's really funny, he does it.
That guy in a little coat. This was another one of those real things.
Don't do it.
It was something Farley actually did often around the SNL offices, to the chagrin of Spade, Adam Sandler, and Chris Rock. He never used to sing it, though. The song happened because Farley got bored as they did multiple takes.
That guy in a little coat.
An editor noticed it and showed it to the director during post-production. Farley wasn't on camera, unfortunately, but they had reshoots to do anyway, so they ended up adding it. The director gives all the credit to his editor, Bill Kerr. That's gonna leave a mark. Like many great bands, Farley wore his influences on his sleeves, which is one of the things so lovable about him. There's one scene on the cutting room floor because one of his expressions was too much like John Belushi in Animal House. That's gonna leave a mark is one of the lines most associated with Tommy Boy.
That's gonna leave a mark.
But after the movie was finished filming,
What'd you do?
Farley confessed to the director that he'd borrowed it from John Candy in Planes, Trains, and Automobiles.
I knew it.
But who could be mad at Farley?
Thanks, man.
Imitation, after all, is the greatest form of flattery.
And I'm dancing like I've never danced before.
Chris and David fought over Rob Lowe. In his memoir, Spade spoke about how Farley would often become infatuated with cool bad boy actors.
And this doesn't strike you as kind of dumb?
He befriended Christian Slater, who played one of the kids during a classic Matt Foley sketch, and started slicking his hair back the day after Slater hosted SNL. Rob Lowe wasn't credited in the movie, which made his villain's surprise introduction even more badass. During the making of Tommy Boy, Farley got jealous when Spade hung out with Rob Lowe a couple of times without him. This led to an angry outburst that became physical, with Chris even stepping on David's hand. The two loved each other like brothers.
Don't run away from your feelings.
Which means they fought like them too. Car mishaps. As a new season of SNL loomed and the movie had only 60 pages to work with,
We gotta work a little today, okay?
the director called up Fred Wolf to spitball some ideas.
Maybe I can help.
They shared stories about some personal mishaps, many of which made it into the movie. Hyperextending the car door at a gas station, that was Siegel. The hood flying up because of an empty oil can, Wolf. Sitting in a sailboat on a date with people heckling from the shore, Siegel. The damn deer, Without a doubt, the deer scene was the most difficult one to shoot. As it turns out, deer wranglers can't train deer to do very much. The production had 4 Plymouth GTXs and had to donate one to the deer farm to get the only shot with a real deer. Cameras and lights were hidden in the bushes. Every day for a month, a ramp was placed at the back of the far end of the car so deer could hang out and get comfortable. They surprised the deer with the lights one night just as the deer was about to poop, which is how they got that classic shot. The rest of the deer scenes were a combination of an animatronic deer and a grip wearing deer skin and antlers. Farley made the movie sober. Like his hero, the late John Belushi, Chris Farley's appetite for excess is the stuff of legend. He was sadly taken from us when he was just 33 years old, a result of his over-the-top substance-fueled lifestyle. The director said Tom and Roseanne actually drove Chris to rehab after his bit on the Jackie Thomas show. Though he fell off the wagon after Tommy Boy, he was sober during shooting. It's especially impressive, considering the rigorous schedule demands placed on him and Spade, who flew back and forth from Toronto to New York for SNL during shooting. Farley drank a ton of coffee. The 51st Dates Easter egg. Chris Farley and David Spade were of course very close with Adam Sandler. Farley made Sandler laugh so much as the bus driver in Billy Madison.
That Veronica Vaughn is one piece of ace.
The movie's editor had to cut around him. There's a sweet Tommy Boy reference in 51st Dates, when Drew Barrymore's character's doctor, played by Dan Akroyd, says the Brain Institute is funded by, quote, T.B. Callahan of Sandusky, Ohio. Siegel also directed 51st Dates.
Cool.
We hope you enjoyed this look at 10 things you never knew about Tommy Boy. If you enjoyed this video, please like it and share it with your friends. Subscribe to MovieWeb to keep up with the conversation about all of the things we love. Chris Farley, rest in power.